This is Professor Pete Alexander with the Winning at Business and Life podcast, where business leaders share their insights. It is 6 questions in 7 minutes because successful business leaders are busy and rarely have more time to spare. So let's get to it. Question number one, in a few sentences, please tell me who you are and what you do.
Hey, I'm Jules and I help coaches and consultants convert more leads into customers using their stories inside of emails. So I'm an email copywriter.
Well, Jules, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Question number two, what is something that makes you smile and or laugh about working in your industry?
So funny story, actually, yesterday I drove my grandma to an acupuncture therapist appointment and I was on the road. We went really far out to go there and there were people just sitting in their cars looking like they hated life, like they hated their jobs. And I'm so blessed that I get to do what I love and I created it during COVID. And that's what makes me smile.
I love that. And what a great story that I could just see the visual as you were describing that. So it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Question number three. I have a fictitious book with all the answers for business.
Yeah.
What chapter would you think most companies should read?
The book, the chapter on habits and how to acquire a new habit and how to break an old habit.
I like that. How would you describe it any further since you're a copywriter?
As in, like, you want the details of the chapter, or
what would somebody find in that chapter?
Okay, it would be to can I go suggest someone else's resource to go for further reading in that chapter?
Absolutely.
Yes, I'd 100% go check out Atomic Habits because that book is fire. And always think about what's the identity you want to create, and then what's the habit you're creating, and then what's the result that's going to come out of that. I think that's what it is. I might have stuffed it up, but definitely I will write that chapter.
Oh, excellent for that. Question number four. Other than the generic work harder, have a great attitude, and care for customers, what advice or insight would you give to other business leaders?
Yeah, be unabashful with your follow-up. And if you are embarrassed, get someone else like a virtual assistant to do it for you.
So in terms of being unabashful, so don't be worried about the follow-up with a particular prospect. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, so out of every 30, I might get one who'll be like, F off, piss off, like you're annoying. But for everyone else to be like, thanks for following up. Like I was just really busy, and that one little thing might just trigger people off. Like I can't do follow up anymore. And that's why I'm just got to go within this attitude. Like, yes, there'll be one person annoyed, but people will appreciate the follow up for the most part.
Yeah, and I would agree with that too. Especially, the thing is that the prospects, they're busy, and so to think that your initial email, is going to be at the top of their list is probably not going to happen. So, and there's been many times where I have actually become a customer of other vendors because they timed the follow up at a perfect time for me.
Exactly. I wonder if that's the magic of the autoresponder, or if just by fate.
It was one or the other, because there were multiple times that happened. So it's great insight there. Question number five: what other business leader like yourself would you like to acknowledge and invite to be on my podcast?
Okay, a good one that I'm working with right now is Jamie Atkinson. You should check him out. He's all about launching a podcast, and I think a podcast is one of the smartest ways you can use right now to grow a platform to build a relationship with people, because that's the essence of business, all relationships.
Well, perfect. I look forward to talking with Jamie. Thank you for that referral. And our final question number six, please tell me about your first job.
First job. Okay. My first actual job was at a burger shop that I quit after a week because they put me on the fry station every single day, which was just not good. And then the second job I took up was as a kitchen hand working at a salmon deli. And I would get really dirty. I would put out all the rubbish. I'd go behind all the oven, then maybe put on all this PPE equipment so I wouldn't burn my eyes, just so I'd clean all the grease off that. And that made me learn a little bit about getting your hands a bit dirty, a lot. And also making small talk with the chefs, because you're in there in the chefs all day and meal prepping, and that's something good. That's something I got good at, was just finding something to talk about and picking up stories from the rest of the week. And yeah. That was my first job.
Great story. And again, going with the great visuals worked very well for your description. So, Jules, thanks so much for being on the show. How can people find you?
Okay, the best place to find me is on my podcast. It's called Storytelling Secrets. It's all about storytelling in marketing, and I get a whole bunch of experts coming on there, and I also do a bit of a solo show on there too.
Perfect. This is Professor Pete Alexander with the Winning a Business in Life podcast. Get hundreds of amazing business insights from previous guest episodes on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for listening.